So I chose to do my presentation on Friedrich Froebel, the father of kindergarten. So the timeline is that in 1837, Froebel opened the first kindergarten in Blankenburg, Germany. In 1856, a lady named Margaret Schurz founded a German language kindergarten in Watertown, Wisconsin. In 1860, Elizabeth Peabody opened the first American English language kindergarten in Boston. So, Friedrich Froebel actually influenced John Dewey. So, Froebel's ideas were introduced to other countries, including the US, where the Froebelian movement achieved its greatest success. And there, John Dewey adopted Froebel's principles in his experimental school at the University of Chicago. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So after moving to other countries, his ideas moving to other countries, kindergartens were established throughout Europe and North America, and it became standard for children's 4 to 6. So Froebel had three idealist themes. The first theme being all existence originates in and with God. Second theme, human possesses an inherent spiritual essence that is the vitalizing life force that causes development. The third theme is all beings and ideas are interconnected parts of a grand, ordered, and systematic universe. So he used these themes to create the curriculum for his kindergarten. So what is kindergarten? Kinder means children and garden means garden. The kindergarten is a special educational environment in which this self-active development occurs. The kindergarten's gifts, occupations, and social and cultural activities, especially play, promote self-actualization. So he called it kindergarten because children are like flowers. They should be nourished and given every opportunity to grow. So Froebel came up with this system of gifts, and his gifts were basically like toys and blocks. He had colored balls, wooden spheres, and cubes of different sizes and lengths, and sticks of different lengths. And these were all tools for promoting modeling and building and just their development. It helped their development and helped to stimulate them in mental consciousness. So these are things that are typically still found in today's kindergartens and schools, early childhood education centers, and they're all good for many different reasons for children. So here's the purpose of gifts. The gifts began with undifferentiated spheres and circles, moving to more complex objects and more cylinders and cubes, and children would use them to build with, and they'd use the sticks to trace designs on paper, and this helped also with their muscles and their hand-eye coordination, and for pretty much anything that they should need to learn, they could use those building blocks and sticks for. So here's a quote from Friedrich Froebel. Play is the highest expression of human development in childhood, for it alone is the free expression of what is in a child's soul. So I wrote down 4 ideas of his. So activities, he said singing, dancing, gardening, and self-directed play were some of the more important ones. So the Frey Abbot is free play. So during set periods of time, children were allowed to work on things by themselves. And they learned things by practicing their concentration skills and resilience and they can learn about engineering, logic, and physics. And the gifts that we've just talked about are all things that can help with those skills. And so, one key thing about his ideas is that where many adults saw pointless play, Froebel saw important learning taking place. So, after he had done kindergarten for a set amount of years, many of his former students opened their own kindergartens, and Germany experienced the rapid growth in numbers of early childhood education centers. So, Froebel thought it was important for women. This gave women more opportunities to work where they weren't so much accepted in other jobs. They weren't allowed to work in other jobs, professionally, anyways. So the kindergarten attracted ambitious, intelligent women who received advanced educations and developed businesses of their own. Some of the more famous women who advanced Froebel's cause was Helen Keller, Kate Douglas, Elizabeth Peabody, and many more. So after the kindergartens started to flourish and spread more, the government got involved, and the Prussian government started a crackdown on new democratic ideas, and women were forbidden from being politically active because the government was upset with this idea of the kindergarten. They labeled it as dangerous for both the state and church, and soon all of the schools that followed Froebel's principles were banned. And then after they banned the schools, Froebel died a year later, and then his ideas were rapidly spread, and many people, including Froebel's niece, founded institutions in other surrounding countries and provided training for people. And then there's a story about Frank Lloyd Wright, who loved playing with a set of Froebel's gifts that his mother, Anna Lloyd Jones, found at the first World's Fair in the United States. He then became to be one of the world's most renowned architects who built iconic buildings that some resembled Froebel's toy blocks. And in 1860, Germany lifted its ban on kindergartens in 1860. So, examples in the classroom is that play. So, many of the toys that the children used to play with in Froebel's classrooms are still used today. So, the blocks and sticks are very common to see in early childhood education centers and schools. So, so since then, Froebel's ideas continue to be taught, and for many states, kindergartens are a requirement and or provided for all. And even still, children are given a variety of activities and materials in the classroom to help them learn, and they get opportunities to learn and observe on their own during school and before and after school and during recess. So ECE programs. Another development since then is the idea of early childhood education programs. There's been a lot more since then, and all of these ones have similar ideas and gifts that they help young children and toddlers learn with. So, on the ideological continuum, I placed him more towards the side of teacher directed nurture, which my reasoning for is that most of his ideas include that of a teacher guiding and setting a curriculum environment that can help nourish a child's development, which also you could say that is kind of in the middle, but I put him more towards nurture because it was mostly about the adult being able to provide the opportunities for the child and help nurture their development, which would be on the other side. So both kind of make sense to be more towards the middle. That's why he's not that far on that side. I want to end with a quote by him says, "Children are like tiny flowers. They are varied and need care, but each is beautiful alone and glorious when seen in the community of peers." And then these are my sources.